How's it going, everyone? It is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Let's get into the video for today. So we have one trade open right now, which is WBA. And here is this on the D1. So we took it on the 25th. Pull back here, still kind of rubbing up against this horizontal level, against this trend line. A bit of a failed breakout, or a failed breakdown here with this instant bearish engulf. And if we zoom out just a little bit here to the M30 chart, I think this is a nice way to view some of the shorter term trends. So you can see here that we've got a big rally up, long green candle here. So it might have been a bit of a short squeeze. Pause, sell. Tested this low. So this is where we'd probably expect to bounce for the first time here. So here's our bounce. Then we're getting a lower high, and we may retest this level again. So may not break on the first chance, but we might break on the second or the third chance. So I am going to put my stop right here. But I do want to see this high preserved. I really don't want to see this high start to break through. That tells me that, may not be anything, we might actually start to reverse out of here. So that is what I am watching for in WBA. Now, yesterday, I gave a trade on coin as a day trade short. Was a pretty nice breakdown here through this high minus trend line, rejection from its AVWAP-Q. It had some room until around the 162 level. So let's look at coin yesterday, and then we'll take a look at the market yesterday. I think it was a sort of an interesting learning experience. And I am going to get to that. So this was the setup. Coin was really nice, steady price action early in the day. Market was looking really, really nice. So entry I took on coin here was at this 11 o'clock candle. Coin broke through the low of the day right here. So we compress, broke down right over here. The market broke down at 11:05. So the first thing that we notice is that coming into this day, we got some heavy volume. We got some good selling over here. This is a really nice setup, in my opinion. And this is a very high probability setup. But in this case, the probability did not favor our side. So long, heavy selling, long red candles, compress, break the low of the day, get a pause here. So these three candles are okay. I think this is fine. We get a little bit of a retest of this level. But to me, this was the key candle of yesterday at 11:25. This long green candle from the low of the day. That tells us that there is some buying here. If there was a strong bearish trend day, we would not have seen this long green candle. Would have been erased. It would have been smacked down. So that already put us on our back heels. And this is that candle at 11:25. So if you are super conservative, you could probably scratch out of the trade here. But I didn't do that. So SPY ends up putting back a little bit higher over here to VWAP. Now, the interesting clue on this key bar is actually a low volume on this compared to the volume on this bar, right? Just look at the actual candle of volume. If you take out, remove one of all here, just look at this volume candle here versus the volume candle here. So lower volume, and then we get some higher volume candles here. That tells us that this is some stopping volume. Sellers are coming in. They're halting down this move on a shorter term basis. And we get a stop. So at this point, we're wondering, okay, what's the chance that we have a V-shaped reversal? That's kind of our worst case scenario. Now, if that happens, we'd probably see another long green candle from VWAP and then another long green candle. And that'll tell us that we got to get out of the trade, and we'd probably have to just take the L on coin. Now, the market hits this level, stalls at VWAP a little bit. Now, we have this bullish cross here. It kind of crosses, it kind of fakes out. So we're still sort of looking down. We get this double top here. There's a little bit of market reaction to the news in Iraq and Iran. Double top. We're still holding the top of this long red candle right here. So this 150, 169.50 level. So we're in coin here. It's pulled back on us, hit VWAP, and now it's starting to roll over. So if you had some extra buying power, this would be an excellent, really pullback entry opportunity, right? This stock is pulled back, and then we're getting a pretty clear signal candle, really heavy volume. Great entry point here. That's actually better than this entry point over here. And we could probably take profits at the low of the day. So stock rallies down. Here's it at 12.45. You see we get a little bit of that pop right here. So we get a bullish cross. We're popping up. So this is kind of where I would have taken some gains, and that's actually where I did take a small loss here. So got in right here, took a small loss right here. So took about maybe $1.50 loss on a stock with a $10 ATR. So that is a pretty small loss, pretty good loss in my opinion. Now, afterwards, the market actually gave this one more chance right here. So test, 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 formed a bit of a triple bottom. And in that triple bottom, so here is the 130 bar. And then here's the 130 bar. So that's your second chance to maybe get out of the trade. They're going to also get out on this long bullish hammer. See that volume coming in right here? So we have a very long bullish hammer that tells us to also get out of the trade. So this ended up could have been a winner, but it really depends on how you played this last section over here. And to me, I felt it was more likely that we would get a double bottom, higher low, than we'd break through. Ended up being wrong about that, and the price I paid was a small loss instead of a decent win. But that's going to happen from time to time. So coin was a small loss, but I think overall I played it pretty well. It was a good setup. It was a decent entry. If I was able to add, which I couldn't because of my buying power concerns, I would have added and probably profited on the trade a little bit, or at least scratched out of the trade. So there's some management you could do there. But yeah, that's kind of how I played coin from here and got out of here. And you can see how stock chopped around for the rest of the day, and then market ended up rallying a little bit, and then sold off just a tad and landed at VWAP on the rest of the day. So we got a little bit of a breakdown, failed breakout, no follow through, and then kind of fell back in. All right. So now let's take a look at what the market is doing today. So on a longer term time frame, again, fundamentally, nothing really has changed. Technically, nothing really has changed. We have this breakout, no follow through, compressing at the all-time high. So to me, that says, hey, we're at a possible inflection point. Keep it pretty light. Don't be swinging too much. I would be sticking to day trades. So I'm out of all of my swings that are of material size. I'm still doing some experimentation with one share swings here and there, just to kind of learn and try different setups and see what happens. But yeah, materially, I'm out of all my swings here. Now, on a shorter term time basis, that's actually sort of informed our longer term time frame. So on a longer term time frame, I'm still pretty mildly bullish. Right? We still made a new all time high. We're still kind of chopping around in here, but we're tending to add in on these dips. So I'd rather actually, here's a compression, wait for the dip, wait for the bounce after that dip. So something like right here, right? Whoops. Whoa. That's a crazy candle. So wait for the bounce after that dip, and then we can kind of start getting in right here. So the September 11th candle, you ride that, see if you can break the new all-time high. So I'd ride it to the new all-time high. Market starts to go sideways a little bit. You have some time to get out of your swing trades and take some nice profits. So, I mean, if you just look at some stocks like, for example, take something like Meta, right? Where let's say you take it on the 11th. Where's the 11th? Oh, so 11th, not really the best trade. Maybe 12th is a slightly better trade. So you take it on the 12th, and you can ride that guy out until it starts to stall over here. That's a pretty nice win. So you get there at 525. You get out there 560, 570. So that's a pretty decent win in Meta. So I think that's the name of the game here. Really time those swings and ride those trends up. All right. So, now on a shorter term time frame, because we are more cautiously bullish, we're more mild, we are more market neutral. So we're pretty zero. Um, looking at both day trades on both the short side and the long side. Let's zoom into what is happening today. So market had a gap down. We had some red candles that tested this support from actually quite a while ago. If we zoom out, so here's the support from yesterday, just above 565, around 566. And then here's actually the FOMC support level right around here. So if I were to actually draw that right here, we actually pretty much bounced off that level exactly and pushed up over there. So that's that bit of a support level. The market on an M30 basis, you can see it's in a bit of a weak downtrend, very, 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 very choppy. So you have an opportunity to trade both sides, but I'll keep it nimble on both sides here. So when it makes a new low of the day, take your gains, and then you can reload on these bounces. That's what you want to do. So what happened? We made a new low of the day, tested that level on the FOMC, long green candle, pretty good volume. We're going up over here. First test, try to fill in the gap, a little bit of rejection, some high volume. Second test over here, another high volume candle, and fill in the gap in the first hour of the day. So that is decently bullish. However, after this long green candle, you can see the price action very, very mixed, right? So this is a nice strong buying here, but not a lot of good follow through. So that tells us that sellers are in here, right? And these tails, and this red candle, and then it slaps back up, and these tails, red candle, red candle. So this is a fairly tenuous move. It's a two steps, one step down, two steps up kind of move. So I really wouldn't be chasing here. We got this bearish candle hitting this again, potentially double top, although we are forming kind of hugging this 8 EMA, so we could get a potential breakout to the new high of the day. We'll see if that happens. We have a 1OP bearish cross here, so I'm going to kind of wait on this cycle. I don't really feel the need to chase anything right now. So even if I miss this breakout, it's not the end of the world. I'll wait for my next opportunity. I don't think I have to really force anything. I can wait for the good trades to come to me. So that's really what I'm looking for. Some sort of pullback to VWAP over here that would probably break through maybe this high minus trend line right there. And pull back to VWAP, or I could even see a pullback maybe closer to the low of the day, get in on a double bottom, and it would form a double bottom higher low. So it would look something like this if I were to find a good, see if I can find a nice example of a candle here. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks something like this, where we'll have a big move down. We'll have this long candle, and it'll snap back up as a, yes, here we go. So this is the example that we want to see. Not the best example, but here's a similar-ish pattern. We got this move down, form a base, double bottom, start to rally back up. Here's our nice move of the day, compress, and then here's the candle we want. So it hits through VWAP, it starts as a long red candle, then it finishes as a hammer. So that would be our entry sign. And that's kind of what I'd want to see to get long. Looking for another example here. I think here's another good example. So we get the sell-off here, right? Form this higher low later in the day, and then we get a nice little end-of-day rally. So something like this could also work out. All right, so what are some nice, strong stocks that we can take a look at? So a couple ones that have caught my eye today. Guild is starting to break out over here. I think healthcare has been decently strong today. It's a nice little bullish flag on Guild. BMY is looking good. Here is the BMY trade. Although you can see we got some nice strong volume here, and that's rallying back up. So I feel like it's probably a little bit more likely we may get a double top. Now, on these kind of LPT days, if you know it's going to be an LPTE day, you're better off either doing two things. One, entering pretty early in the day. So I actually took a small gap, and not a gap and go, but a very early day trade at 53.50, and I took profits somewhere over here at 54. So take a pretty early trade, or wait out the pullback later in the day and then take another trade. This is a weak trend, but if this market starts to stall and pull back, a lot of stocks are going to show their true colors. And you can really see which is the real ones, which are the fake ones, and BMY still could look good later in the day. But I may have to wait out maybe, I don't know, maybe like another 60 minutes, 90 minutes, something like that. I have to wait out this next bear cycle. So probably something like 90 minutes, see how that goes. Rather than waiting to see if this is really going to break the low of the day. A high of the day are probably going to be a double, they call it a double top or not. My bias right now is a double top, considering this heavy volume. You see there's some tinier candles and then some lower volume candles coming in here. So has me a little bit more cautious on that kind of move. So, but I like BMY. That may be my pick of the day. You can see this is a beautiful breakout on the D1. Healthcare stocks are looking pretty strong. Stock is rallying. We still have some room until some high volume candles around here, around the $55 level, which gives us plenty of room ATR wise. I did like Caesar earlier today, and here's the breakout on Caesar. It was looking good. It broke out over here and then compressed sideways for a little bit. So it doesn't have a ton of momentum. I'm not crazy about it, but I did like the move that the stock made. Potentially could be hitting against this high plus trend line. I just don't know how valid I've drawn this trend line, but it does seem to be interacting with that level. So potentially could be valid. Another nice one here, APO. Breaking above this high minus trend line was a nice trade yesterday. Compressing a little bit today. Doesn't have a ton of volume. It is a choppy stock. It pulls back, it rips up higher, pulls back, rips up higher. So I think I'd want to get in on pullback. There's BMI with the new high of the day. I'd want to get in maybe on a pullback over here. Still some good volume there. Humana had a big move down, big chunk down. I would watch it and be pretty careful. We'll have to see what sets up short-wise or long-wise. I'm actually going to put a buy signal alert. So I think this is a more advanced setup, but on these very big moves down, if the price action is very strong and the volume is very nice, you actually can take a day trade long on this. But I think that's pretty advanced, and I wouldn't really recommend it. It's not really a system trade. I think you're better off either avoiding it or seeing if actually a good short is going to set up or not, if sellers are going to start to come in and defend that gap. Very high ATR after the volatility. You want to do either a debit spread or shares. Don't do straight calls and puts. IV is super, super high. All right, and you starting to reverse here on the D1. We got a bit of a double top, breaking through the 50 SMA and through the low. So one of my favorite kind of double top setups. Also on a sell signal. Volume is okay, not amazing. Also not the worst. So if we can get through that low of the day here, we got a nice shot to that SMA 100. And that's probably where I would take some profits. TRP, big drop down today. It has been hugging its low of the day. We'll have to see if it's going to continue. It might just be too big of a drop, and we might see this low of the day compression. So let's take a look at TRP. But it is slowly kind of grinding lower. So I'd probably get in on a green candle, get in close to the 8 EMA here. This is the kind of stock that after kind of it chews away all its buyers, it could accelerate later in the day. Don't overstay your welcome because this is a pretty big move, and this stock has been on a pretty decent uptrend. So buyers are probably going to gobble it up. So there's a good chance of a reversal risk, and hasn't had the time for something like NU, where buyers and sellers have had some time to sort of battle it out, and sellers are able to turn the ship and switch it back down into something more bearish. Final one here is going to be Twilio. Twilio is getting through some pretty big levels, some high plus lines over here. So assessing this level, we got an exit signal. I like Twilio quite a bit. We got some good volume. I think if we can get a buy signal here and get through that trend line, then Twilio is on pretty good shape. Very choppy stock. So if you're swinging it, just be careful. If you're also day trading it, it can have all these tails and wicks. So we want to see it really clear this level before we get anything going. You can see that we got a breakout over here, breakout, and then test. So have to sort of dissuade a couple of sellers here. Also, given the market context, right, you see we're kind of struggling to get past this level. And we want to see if we get that breakdown or not. Okay, so pick for today. Well, ideally, I would like to give this pick. Oh, there's BMY. That's a beautiful. It's actually setting up very, very well. Unfortunately, I don't love the market right now. But this is a pretty nice trade on this pullback. Could probably be a buying climax here. So I like BMY. I'd probably wait out for another little pullback. Tested this level, went up higher. So you can see that breakout. We get the test, move up higher. It'll, right here's the prior high. Test that. So I may have a chance to get in at this breakout right here. Okay, so that is it for the video today. I think BMY is going to be my day trade long. Here's the conditions. I want to see the market pull back, and I want to see BMY show some relative strength. Either it compresses or it has a weaker pullback. If it still looks like good like that, then I'm going to get long as a day trade. So thanks for watching, everyone. And we're going to take a look at how BMY did in the video tomorrow.